Hello, and welcome to Wine with Weeda, the podcast that is dedicated to engaging with health professionals and caregivers in meaningful discussions. I'm your host, Rita Shamoon, or as my clients call me, Weeda. I'm a pediatric speech pathologist, and I am so excited to have you here. Each week, we deep dive into connecting you with caregivers and healthcare professionals, sharing their insights, stories, and key takeaways to help you with your child's diagnosis and your journey. Whether you are a parent, healthcare professional, a lifetime learner, or simply a wine enthusiast, you're in the right place. So let's sit back and relax and enjoy today's episode. Hey everyone, another episode of Wine with Weeda. This is a solo episode, and I want to discuss a common phrase that parents say in their therapy room. Now, there's this misconception that everyone thinks speech pathology is just about a lisp and bubbles. And yes, we blow bubbles. Yes, we play with Play Doh. And yes, we help children communicate. But it's the four walls in a family home where we really are quite vulnerable with families. When families feel safe to communicate their own concerns and also safe to really take off the mask and express what they're really going through. As a speech pathologist, I feel so privileged and honored that parents can communicate to me like this because it's about creating a village and helping these families go through a journey that they did not expect for their child. And that's what I want this episode to be about today. When parents say, "This is not what I expected for my child. This is not what I wanted for my child. And this is where I don't know what to do because my expectations were very different when I felt pregnant with my child." Now, as a mother with 3 children, I completely understand what that feeling would feel like. I did not expect my child to not walk. I did not expect my child to really have challenges with her walking skills. So I understand the heaviness of what you're going through. My youngest daughter has a diagnosis of hypotonia, which means her joints are very flexible. And when she was quite younger, she found walking and moving really hard. However, I feel very privileged to have access to information and know developmental milestones and to know who to contact. So I was onto it because I was really well and truly aware that early intervention is the key. But most parents don't. So let's talk about that phrase. Let's dig a bit deeper. It's not what I expected for my child. Now let's go back to when you had the pregnancy test and you had those blue lines and you found out you were pregnant. Those feelings of excitement and those feelings of anticipation that you have created a gorgeous God's gift. Yeah. Then you found out, or if you didn't find out the gender, that is so exciting, by the way. I remember when we found out my third daughter was another girl. I was so excited that I had 3 daughters because I always expected that I would have daughters. But then my poor husband wanted a son. We haven't got that. But I do remember what that gender reveal was like. And then you'd go to Baby Bunting or the stores where you would buy those special prams and you would buy all these beds and books and so forth because you have these expectations of what childhood was like. Then the contractions came and then what you had planned for birth may have gone to plan or may not have gone to plan. All you wanted was for your child to be healthy and alive. And let's just touch on those expectations. Parents, when we're pregnant, we always want a natural birth. We always want a healthy birth, but sometimes things don't go to plan. So what our goals change, our expectations change. We just want a happy, healthy child. Yeah. Then you have your beautiful baby. There may have been some hiccups, but then you go down the feeding journey, whether you're breastfeeding or bottle feeding, as long as your child is happy and healthy. And I'm just going to keep repeating that phrase because we live in a world filled with expectations. We live in a world where society tells us how we should be. We live in a world how we are conditioned to be a certain way. But the ultimate goal is happiness and health, as long as your child is happy and healthy. Then we go down the path, your child is thriving, you love your new baby, that you're not sleeping very well, and so forth, so forth, so forth, the journey of early childhood. then your child has a diagnosis. And then your world shatters in front of you. And I've seen that. I've seen that with many, many families. I had one mother say, I did not expect to go to speech therapy, occupational therapy every week. I did not expect my life to be so hard just going to the grocery store because my child had a tantrum. I did not expect to feel so alone. And I did not expect that I would be a mother to a neurodivergent child. And that is really heavy, guys. I feel it. I hear you and I see you. Yeah. However, what I have learned in my own life and with my work as a speech pathologist, expectations lead to disappointment. It's how hard we are on ourselves and how hard we are as mothers because we want the best for our children. But expectations lead to disappointments. And I actually had a podcast interview with a gentleman called Junior Farr not long ago, and he said something so beautiful, especially with dads coming to term with the child's diagnosis. He said, "Bro, you got to let that go. Let go of what the child you expected to have, but start to appreciate and love the child that's in front of you." And when he said that, I'm going to say that again. Most fathers had to learn to let go of the child or the childhood they expected to have, but learn to love and to live with the child that's in front of them, who is a beautiful child. And when you hear those comments, it just makes sense, right? We have to diminish and lower the expectations of what we expected, right? To appreciating and loving the gift that's in front of you. Because this lovely child is going to teach you a whole different way of parenting. It's going to teach your family, teach your in laws, your aunties, your uncles, everyone a different way to communicate, a different way to understanding. And what a gift is that, though? A child has been brought into your family to teach others how to be better, to teach others how to be compassionate, and to teach others how to be more understanding. Yeah. And this is the negativity about expectations. Things don't go to plan. Things never turn out the way that we want. But it's in the moments, those small pockets of joy where we celebrate the people around us, to celebrate the people who are authentic and genuine in front of us. And most importantly, celebrating the gifts that your child brings you. Because when we celebrate those gifts, we then encourage our children to thrive and be more successful with whatever they choose to be or with whatever way they choose to communicate. And I understand the heaviness that comes with it. And coming from a multicultural background myself, I know the stigmas that are associated with a disability. And some people like to hide it, and I completely respect that. The reason why they hide it is because they know the negativity that they will receive. They know the outcomes that they will receive. However, when we surround ourselves with people who welcome us, who understand us, and most importantly, support your child, you yourself as a parent will thrive better. You yourself as a mother will support your child more because your own needs are being met, particularly emotional needs. So let's rephrase that. Let's understand, yes, we did have expectations. Yes, I expected to go on coffee dates with my kids. And yes, I expected to go on holidays with my children. However, it doesn't matter if it's not happening now, it hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened yet. Let's learn to love and understand your child. Let's reframe our expectations. Let's understand where your child is now and create a different journey and create a different path. Because in my life, as a mother and as a speech pathologist, these kids teach me so much on a day-to-day basis. Yes, my career, yes, my degree gave me all those extra fun bits to be a speech pathologist. But every child has taught me something new every single day. And I have actually no longer have expectations when I go to a therapy session because the child shows me what to expect. And by them showing me to expect, I then encourage them to communicate in a different way and even better. And in turn, I then help families out to understand that this is their child too and how they can learn to understand their child better. So I do encourage you to start to see your child in a different light. Let's remove our expectations, but let's see what they are and let's celebrate them. And celebrate yourself as a parent too, because you are remarkable. You are amazing. You are God's gift, as well as your child is God's gift to you. Time to celebrate and not to be so hard on yourself. I hope you found this episode really helpful, and I hope it helps you with your child's diagnosis and the journey that you're about to embark on too. Please do leave a comment if you found this helpful too, as it allows other families to access it as well. I wish you a beautiful week ahead, and another episode of Wine with Vida will be brought to your ears really soon. Take care, everyone. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Wine with Vida. I hope you found some new inspiration, learnt something new, or gained a fresh perspective. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd be so grateful if you please leave a 5-star review, as it really helps the show get in the ears of new listeners, plus it takes 5 seconds. If you're keen for more strategies and insights, then head over to Instagram and follow RS Speech Pathology.